All right, we are live.
Good morning, everyone. It's the one and only V, the Grill Economist, coming to you live, and it's Wednesday, and you know what time it is. It's Hump Day. And because it's Hump Day, you know it is the one and only man, the myth, the legend himself, in no particular order, the one and only Baron of Bitcoin, the Sultan of Silver, the Gandalf of Gold, the Czar of Cryptos himself, and the purveyor of the path and the road to Ruda, the man who wears his heart on his sleeve and spaghetti sauce stains on his tie. Bix Weir. Bix, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm coming down from the high of Acapulco, and my
To the lows
liver
of California. I
my
know
liver is clearing up, and it's all good.
my goodness, how thou hast fallen.
No, things are just heating up every which way with the deep state, with the cryptos. Hopefully, with gold and silver this year, lots of things going on.
Hopefully, you and I will have a channel by the end of this month.
Well, exactly. I was talking this morning on my Horn of Z's this morning how you just can't talk anymore. It's like they're putting scotch tape on your mouth and saying, you're not allowed to use any word with a vowel or a consonant in it almost.
That's it. We're going to have to develop our own language in order to communicate, or we have to preface every sentence we say, or post preface every sentence we say with "We love Hillary Clinton." That's the only way. It's the only way, Bix.
Well, yeah, you just gotta. I think right now it's don't make it your main subject, but you can dabble in it. So I know a lot of people have been shut down. Richie Allen show was shut down. Ron Johnson, David Seaman, the Anti-School show.
And well, Seaman was asking for it. Seaman's out there literally calling Google out.
True. But still, I mean, it sucks that we don't have the freedom of speech anymore.
No, we don't.
Alex Jones got a strike because he talked just a little bit about the false flag down in Florida.
And let's not talk about that. Let's not mention the kid's name either, lest the algos pick us up. And let's just call it the Orange State. Okay, we'll call it the Sunshine State or the Orange State. Go for it, buddy.
Well, I've been looking for an AR-15 with a magazine that held 150 rounds, and
don't say that either. You can't use AR-15.
I can't find it.
You can't say AR-15. You have to say
XYZ-27.
Exactly, XYZ-27.
My XYZ-27 jammed with 150 unspent rounds. That's kind of impossible. So, yeah, no more XYZ talk. No more talk of the craziest thing is the for every false flag there's of late there's always drills and things that are going to happen during that false flag. Like 9/11, it was all about the military was running every single drill known to man during that day. Well, this school was running an active shooter drill during the day.
Yep.
Where they were going to use live rounds. What freaking principal of that school would allow something like that to frighten the crap out of the kids?
The type of mentally deranged status that we have running this country.
Well, I think
what is tyrants? I'll take A. What is tyrants for 64,000, Alex?
Let's not even talk about that. But I will talk about the fact that I think this is all a planned thing to attack the people who are trying to speak truth on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Google. It is very clear that the controllers of those outlets, those media outlets, are going after anybody who even mentions it. So that's all I have to say. I think the real conspiracy is the takedown of free speech, and that's exactly why this particular false flag was pulled off.
Yeah, and we love Hillary Clinton.
Is she in jail yet?
Don't say that. Don't say J word. Don't say jail. We can't call it jail anymore.
Has she taken off her anklet yet?
No, we can say ankle bracelet. We can't call it an anklet. Instead of jail, we could use resort.
Well, maybe all the missing gold from Fort Knox is actually melted down is in Hillary Clinton's anklet.
It's in her server room.
In the bathroom. Yeah, it's like Saddam Hussein had golden toilets that he used and things like that.
He was the man, bro. Oh my God. I mean, if Saddam Hussein was alive today, he would be the Instagram king. Did you realize that?
Oh yeah, I mean,
he would be the Instagram king. It wouldn't even be Kim Jong-un. It'd be Saddam Hussein.
There's so many lies and so many ridiculous stories out there. It's hard to keep up. A lot of my subscribers are just numb to it. Oh, great, here we go again. And they don't even get pissed off anymore that false flags happen, or the right and left conspiracy, or Trump goes off the rails in some which way. Trump was hired as a bull in a china shop. That was his job, to disrupt. And, he works for certain people. I call them the good guys, who are taking these bad guys down. He is doing a great job at what he was hired to do, which is
let me ask you this.
Nice guy.
Let me ask you this. I've been frustrated for quite some time right now. How come no one's gone to jail yet?
It's very simple. The minute that one of the big ones goes down, they have to all go down, because they're all interconnected. So, and if they all go down, the entire system goes down. There goes the end of fiat money. We have death and destruction in the streets. Everybody loses their pension, their 401k. That's why it's the top elites have not been taken down. They will be, I believe, this year. But that's why they are delaying and holding the system together. They're also trying to build the crypto universe right next to it, so that there's somewhere to go. That's always been the problem with the gold and silver bugs. There's never been a place to go. They said, well, gold and silver has been money for 10,000 years, but how are you going to implement that knowledge and that psyche into humanity? 7 billion people haven't known gold and silver as money since most of them since before the day they were born. It was 71 that we went off the gold standard. Mm-hmm. And before that, we stopped using silver in the U.S. So it's like they don't know, and it's only these old fart bankers who were alive at the time who rigged the markets that know that gold and silver were money. So going back to a gold and silver standard is no longer feasible, no longer viable.
Yeah.
And so they're going to build a crypto system. Otherwise, if there's nowhere to go to, if there's nothing to use as money when the old system fails and these people are put in jail, then we're all screwed. Mm. So I fully expect the crypto system to be built out over this year and next year and the year after that. How long it takes for the old system to die, I don't know. Cliff High's data has it, has at least messages of the dollar 10 years out. So, is it the same dollar? Do they go to some kind of crypto-backed dollar? Do they try to back the dollar with the no gold they have in Fort Knox, or do they try to pull the gold out of the Grand Canyon? I don't know. I don't think many people would believe in a gold standard, because most people don't have any, so they're not going to trust it.
Yeah, most people don't even know what a gold standard is.
Yeah. And the people who do have it are not going to give it out to humanity. Are you kidding me? They're hoarders. All the gold bugs and the silver bugs are going to hold onto their gold and silver for dear life, especially as the old system crashes. So either the government's got to go in and confiscate all the gold and silver so that it can reallocate it for humanity, which is not going to happen. Or
they got to make it where it's got to be worth my while. If somebody offers me an outstanding price on my gold and silver, yeah, fine. Here you go.
But who? The government printing money to do that would instantly signal hyperinflation.
Yeah, so that's the
we're in a shithole, and that's the biggest problem. That's why the Federal Reserve was allowed. I talked about this in Acapulco. That's why the Federal Reserve has been allowed to operate. We know it's a shitty system. We know it's a criminal system. But because there is no solution, we're always going to bail it out. Until we have a solution in place, we're going to continue to bail out the banks.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Florida photo shoot.
The photo shoot, yes. The
photo shoot in Florida. Deep agenda.
Let's try to do that. Okay, so Florida had a come take your picture day. It was senior picture day in Florida, so they hired a kid to come in and take pictures. Right. And he had 150 rolls of film in his little Instamatic camera. Somehow they got jammed.
You mean the XYZ 2000 that he was using, the XYZ?
Yes. And the principal told everybody beforehand that there was going to be a real photo shoot using real film instead of the digital stuff. So all the police stood down because they knew it was just a camera. And all the eyewitnesses that saw the pictures being taken had different stories because they're all lying. So, yes, very interesting photo shoot down in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, plus, one of the students was caught on film saying that there were multiple photographers that day. There was at least more than one.
It was like
Definitely.
paparazzis. It was
Yeah,
paparazzis all over the place.
all over the place. They were wearing full on photography gear with a photography helmet, that a photography vest on, and they had a.
Well, they got to keep those 150 rolls of film somewhere. They had to have a big vest, right? Because it clearly couldn't attach to a Nikon XYZ 14.999.
Yeah, it was definitely 5.56 megapixels, 5.56 megapixel, full NATO megapixels.
Oh my God, we need to just move on. We can't. I don't know how this will be. The bots might kill us.
They're confused. Maybe we would have short circuited them out with our dubious talk here.
Look out! AI's coming to get you. Look out! It's gonna get you.
Well, we survived that one, Bix. I mean, we did that. We handled that pretty well. The whole Florida photo shoot. It was amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Spring forward for cryptos, brother. Go.
Absolutely. We went through the hyperinflation in the cryptos through November, December. The cryptos doubled during that time. And then, as always, they crashed back down. They got too far too fast. The traders spilled blood in the streets. They started it with a mini dump, a lot of FUD being thrown out, and they got it down to under $6,000 Bitcoin. And now we are leveling out. Not a lot of volume in the cryptos, and it's time for the spring run, because this is not going to stop. And the good guys have to build up this crypto universe faster. They can't have any big long-term holds on the price of cryptos, because people will lose interest. So I believe in the next few weeks, we're going to start the real big run. It's in Cliff's data that we're going to have a big run into March, April, May, June before the next full pullback. So if you're looking to buy cryptos, the good ones, not the shit ones, if you're looking to buy good ones, buy it now. Absolutely. We are ready for the run. And that run will be involving the banksters. As you notice, all the banksters, even Jamie Dimon's JP Morgan came out and said, boy, this is really disruptive technology. Too little, too late, Jamie. I must
only refer to him as his Spanish name. We cannot call him Jamie unless we get flagged. We have to call him Jaime.
No, I don't think they flagged Jamie, because I've been talking about him forever, along with his minions like Bill Daly. Bill Daly was JP Morgan's SWAT team leader back in 2011, and when silver price was getting away from JP Morgan, their silver short up near $20. They implanted Bill Daly as Obama's chief of staff in 2011. And the day he got in there, the price of silver ran from $20 to $50, literally at a 45-degree angle. And then all of a sudden, crash May 1st. We all know about the silver drive-by shooting. They crashed it down and held silver down below $20, starting the, quote, bear market, the artificial bear market. And then as soon as the year was up, they got it back down to $20. And Bill Daly left the Obama administration, went back to JP Morgan, and is now, I don't know if he's still there, but he went back to his job as Jamie Dimon's SWAT team leader. And that name was on the cover of Money magazine with a big picture of Jamie Dimon with Bill Daly. So absolutely, these criminals rig the markets, control the markets, destroy markets. They destroyed the sentiment in silver since 2011, but I think 2018 is the year that silver roars, assisted by cryptos, because it's not going to roar in the COMEX or the LBMA, which are the only exchanges. It's going to roar with peer-to-peer type of stuff. I don't know what that coin will be, or if it's a coin or just a system that's put together, but I know in my heart that it can't be any kind of third-party storage. So it'll be interesting what develops in the silver market this year. But this is definitely one of the years for silver. I haven't talked about silver very much in the last 4 or 5 years since I discovered all the criminal computer market manipulation about it. There's nothing to even scream about. We've explored it all. We've shown the CFTC how silver's rigged. Ted Butler's done an amazing job of that, but they're still not going to do anything. They have to keep the system together.
Yeah. Exactly. Bitcoin not going to adopt Lightning Network? What's going on with that? That's crazy.
Well, go back to SegWit and all that, the fight between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. There was really an undertone of that fight that the core developers did not want to use Bitcoin as a means of exchange. They didn't want it for everybody. They wanted to lock up their coins. These are newly minted multi-billionaires, computer programmers who were in charge of Bitcoin. And so they really did just lock it up. That's why it's so expensive and so slow. But there was always an undertone that, they'd always say, no, SegWit's going to fix all these problems. SegWit. And they've been promising SegWit for a long time. Now it's coming out. There's a test net running for Bitcoin SegWit and all kinds of problems with it. And a lot of people in the core development team are saying, no, we're not going to implement Lightning Network. And one of the biggest guys, one of the biggest proponents of the anti Bitcoin used as a peer-to-peer cash system, is this guy Peter Todd. He's like one of the main core developers. And just yesterday came out and said, let me quote him. He said, initial impressions of Lightning on testnet, see Lightning seg faults a lot. And when it's not crashing, payments fail more often than not. Writing in C, a notoriously dangerous language, doesn't strike me as a good idea. Well, he knew it was being written in C the whole time. Mm-hmm. And, he says also, as for the Lightning protocol, I am willing to predict it'll prove to be vulnerable to DOS attacks in its current incarnation, both at the P2P and blockchain level, while bad politics focusing on centralized hub and spoke payment channels would have been much simpler. Basically, he's saying there's no way they're going to get consensus on implementing Lightning Network over in the main net, the main Bitcoin processing nodes and all that. And it was all, Roger Ver knew it all along. They wanted to lock up Bitcoin and not have it available to the masses.
They're so stupid.
I agree.
What is the point of this? I mean, their little $1 million holdings is going to vanish to nothing.
Well, I don't think that, because there are banksters that want this kind of security, but it's not going to be used by a lot of people. It's not going to be useful other than like a storage like gold. But if you offered me $1 million in Bitcoin or $1 million in gold in the future, after Bitcoin settles out in some price, I would take the gold, truthfully. Absolutely. And I'm not a big proponent, because I know there's a lot more gold out there. But the use as a store of value, a locked up store of value, I am not a big fan of that. I've never been a big fan of gold. It's just a bunch of rich people hanging on to their gold. I've been a big fan of silver because it's useful. And Bitcoin will do just fine. But I think Bitcoin Cash will do a lot better, because 7 billion people can use Bitcoin Cash. Only a handful of people are going to be able to use Bitcoin, or will want to use Bitcoin, because it'll be so slow and so expensive, just like the core guys wanted. So it's all happening the way Roger said. I expect to see a huge run up for Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin if they officially announce that Bitcoin will not be adopting, the Bitcoin core will not be adopting the Lightning Network. Because that's what they said, why they said they're going to do SegWit in the first place, so we can get the Lightning Network. And now they're saying, oh, Lightning Network sucks. We don't want to risk our trillions in Bitcoin to put it on the Lightning Network. But in the meantime, Litecoin Cash, Litecoin Cash, there's a Freudian slip. Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, even Dash, those are some very popular ones to use as a means of exchange. I think Litecoin is going to be the big means of exchange for humanity, and will be adopted by people like Amazon and Facebook and things like that. Really excited about that. Litecoin Cash, that the fork, it was a happy fork. It wasn't happy for Charlie Lee.
It wasn't a sad fork, but you sure it's a happy fork?
It wasn't a contentious fork, except Charlie Lee didn't like it. He thought it was a con. It doesn't look like it's a con. But it's like a solution looking for a use case, in my opinion. And there's a lot of really, ridiculous coins out there that have huge market values. It's one of those things, Dogecoin, which was created as a joke, has a $700 million market cap, or at least did. So I think Litecoin Cash will find some use at some places. I know that there are miners out there using their old ASIC machines, so it will be mined. It will have value. What that value is completely up in the air. And will the wallet, like a lot of people held their Litecoin at Coinbase or on wallets that don't support Litecoin Cash. If Litecoin Cash becomes more viable, gets traded on the markets, becomes worth something, there will be massive pressure for those exchanges to release their Litecoin Cash. That's my opinion.
Yeah. So what any other cryptos that are on your radar that you'd want to talk about?
Yeah, all the cryptos that I've talked about over the last year, all the good ICOs that happened last year that got money to build out the company, the infrastructure to put products in place, are coming to that point in 2018 where they release their products. Now, the product release, it'll either be fast or slow. In the case of Salt Lending, it's going pretty slow. They need a lot of regulation approvals. Every state, their banking systems have to approve it, but they're getting it and they're coming. I think they've done 30 million in loans already in the first 2 months, which is great. But they have 1.5 billion in backlog with 60,000 people waiting to get loans. So it's not going to happen real quick, but companies like Salt, companies like Populous, there's been all kinds of FUD on Populous, but you look at the Populous white paper and you understand what they're doing, these invoice factoring. And the key to that, as opposed to anybody trying to copy them, key to that is understanding the credits. I mean, I was in finance for 25 years. It's all this invoice factoring is all about high rate lending on sketchy credits, but you got to really understand what the credits are, what their default rates are, and things like that. Any company trying to copy what Populous is doing, the ones I've seen are ridiculous. So we can do the same thing. They don't even know what they're talking about. They don't talk about how they're going to determine credit quality. They don't talk about currency exchanges. And Populous has a token to deal with the currency fluctuations. You look at Populous, it's just an amazing idea, well thought out by the right people who know their industry. And these other ones coming on are just they're really jokes trying to piggyback off all the FUD that's caused in the Populous hoopla lately.
Yeah. You know, another thing that I'm looking at is Tron. Tron is looking promising, man. What's your take?
I'm not. I don't know much about it. I know it went up huge for a while. Tell me about it.
It's a token for. It's basically a media platform that's on the blockchain. So it's going to allow a lot of the people. It's going to be a rival in terms of not a rival, but it's going to be a rival. Yeah, it is going to be like a rival to your Google Ads and all that other stuff. So it's going to be advertisement media platform on the internet. It's you'll be able to on the blockchain you'll be able to better capitalize your medium through Tron. It's been it's been showing some serious growth.
Okay, I know it really popped for a while there.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
but what's it doing now?
I'm not sure. I didn't get a chance to look.
I'll look it up right now. It's at 4 cents, and
awesome.
It was at 24 cents.
Oh, so it's down.
Yeah, it's down pretty good. But
time to buy.
Everything's down if you ask me. There's a lot of YouTube and media type crypto companies. I like AdX, which focuses on making things like Google Ads more. Basically, it injects truth and honesty into Google Ads. They lie so much. The YouTube ads.
Stop saying the G word.
Oh my God.
Google is amazing.
They release false data like you would not believe. So something like that.
We won't call Google. We'll call Google. Google. We refer to it as Google. Google releases false ads, and you know. Tell us more about the Google ads.
Google lies, cheats, and steals your money if you're an advertiser, and people are starting to figure that out. You're not really getting 200 million views of your ad. You're getting more like 200,000, and they're not accounting for it properly. So definitely the advertising space in online media is going to need a shakeup. There's another company I was looking at. What's it? I don't even know where it is, but there's a lot of companies working to inject in that space. Because I mean, if you look at YouTube is the big mother monster of online media these days. Facebook is kind of dying off a little bit, but YouTube is just huge because it's so easy to put your headphones in while you're going to work and listen to a YouTube video, and you find your favorite people. And people like to watch TV and listen more than they do like reading the written word. That's just the fact of where we've gone. For Road to Ruta is proved to be a gigantic move that I do most of my stuff on video for the last year.
Yep.
It's huge. It quadrupled my business.
Yep.
And it's something that is the future. So I'm looking at
I will be coming out of the shadows, Bix. I've decided I'm going to do this.
When? We all want to know when. Maybe Acapulco. How do you look in like a bathing suit on the beach?
I look like picture Sasquatch from the Jack Link's commercial, but with like board shorts.
Nice.
But a more handsome face, of course.
You're so hairy, you won't get sunburned.
No, I never wear sunscreen. I don't have no need to. I'm covered with lusciously groomed black hair. It's beautiful. It's every so often I go to PetSmart, get myself groomed.
Nice. I would say about the ad tokens and the video tokens. Cliff's High's data has one company spectacularly blowing up before the rest go crazy. So I don't know what it is. I'm hoping it's not AdX because they got a lot of really good people in it, but it might be. And I don't know much about Tron, but it definitely got some kind of boom pump for a while. Will it blow up? I don't know. So there will be one that blows up according to Cliff's data, but nobody really knows. The key is to spread yourself kind of wide with these crypto companies, because probably if you pick really good ones and you do your research, you're still going to have a failure rate. You're still going to have a couple companies that don't make it. And you're going to see that coming up in 2018. What'll happen most likely is they say, oh, no, we're just delayed. We had some delays in the introduction of our product and things coming, not really in line. But, you're going to have your real home runs too. The new Google and Facebook and Veritasium I'm still loving, but yeah, absolutely. They've been delayed but they aren't delayed by what Reggie's doing. They're delayed by the powers that be, the Jamaican stock market and the German stock market not being ready to fully announce that they're going to go crypto, because it would change that whole industry instantly. And they know that. But that industry needs to be changed. And it will be changed. And in Cliff's data, he's got the U.S. government going to Reggie and Veritasium and saying, come help us with our broken markets. So it's really cool for them.
I like it. Don't mind me. I'm messaging Cliff High as we speak.
Cliff's awesome. He's got a new report coming out. I think it's somewhere around March 8th. And we'll have a Three Amigos chat. Those are always fun. And
I'm gonna steal them away. We're gonna do the 14 amigos.
14 amigos.
The 14 amigos. It's gonna be you.
You gotta show your face, man. You can't go be hiding in the shadows forever, my friend.
I will, Bix. I will. I have to undergo.
Well, I'm one of the rare guys who have actually seen you, because you left your camera on once, and you do look like a gorilla. Very good looking gorilla, but a gorilla much the
nonetheless. Same. I am a sharp looking simian, am I not?
Very handsome.
Some
man.
say that I look like Cornelius from the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, it's funny because you hear your favorite YouTube people, or you hear someone on the radio, and then you see him in person. You're like, wait a minute, that's not the person I've been listening to. Like when Cliff High was doing interviews for years and never showed his face, and then he finally shows his face. I'm like, that doesn't match his voice. Yeah. Because you build up these perceptions of what someone looks like when you hear their voice for so long.
People think I'm a short Italian guy from Brooklyn. That's what.
You're a gorilla. You've said you're a gorilla, and you're sticking to it.
I'm sticking to it, man. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
It's a good story. I love what you guys do. You guys are spreading truth and honesty. Don't talk about the conspiracy stuff too much. I hear they're not just giving one strike. They'll give one strike and then go back into all your hundreds of videos and find.
And they strike all. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. Great. Like, dude, I had an interview that I did with Charles Hugh Smith. Charles Hugh Smith is probably, I love Charles, but he's the most least controversial figure.
Oh, I know.
He's a sweetheart. He never says anything bad. They demonetize that vid. They're like, they flagged us on that. I'm like, my God, what is wrong with you people?
I think a lot of it has to do with, it's weird because I'll go through phases where they demonetize everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of them start to demonetize the next day. I like that because I get most of my views the first day. But, lately everything's being monetized. And I'm like, oh, I got to just stick to this. And it really has to do with whatever program they're writing for that day. They might target certain people and certain, words like, photo shoot. But yeah, it's crazy, and it's sad to see that America has turned into a land of no more free speech.
The
land of make believe. Absolutely, no more free speech is allowed. But I think when the bad guys are taken down, there'll be a big shakeout, and there'll be a big shakeout at these media companies. We already saw Schmidt was fired or let go or ran away the day after Trump signed the executive order to snag all the assets of criminals.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. But I have hope for the future. I have hope for the United States that will wake up and say, hey, let everybody's opinions be heard, because most likely the opinions that are being stifled are the most important opinions.
Right. Exactly correct. Bix, your closing statement, sir. How can people join the road to Ruda, and what type of goodies do you have for them this time?
Go to roadtoruda.com. Go to our YouTube channel. Posting a lot of those. It's getting really popular for me, at least. I'm up to like 38,000 subscribers, which is cool, and I'll take that. And but if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. And then at roadtoruda.com, you get free emails. And then if you want to get deep into it, you can join the private road. You get a free silver coin and one ADX token that will either go to $1 million a coin or to zero. So yeah, but I love ADX because of the people behind it. It's got some of the smartest programmers out there, and advertising people who know what they're doing. So check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, folks, we are over and out. Take it away, CJ.